Welcome to the BleedRedBlacks podcast.
Best fans in the league right here, baby!
With your hosts, Colin and Mike.
Susie Q.
Produced by Mark and Johnny Z. BleedRedBlacks starts now.
BleedRedBlacks.
Gabriel is open in the end zone. Touchdown! The Ottawa fans and players are going crazy.
Your number one podcast for all things Red Black.
It's complete on the near side. Sinopoli makes the tackle into the end zone. Touchdown! It's Brad Sinopoli.
Every season,
Back to pass throws. It's intercepted. And this is going to be a pick six into the end zone for a touchdown. It's Jarrell Gavin. Touchdown, Ottawa!
all season.
First and 10 Ottawa for the BC 30. Here's Burris throwing into the end zone. Ellingson, and it is caught! Oh, what a catch by Greg Ellingson!
Hello and welcome to episode 27 of the BleedRedBlacks podcast. Yeah, I may be sounding a little excited today, and I have every right to be pumped up for many reasons. One of which, I'm joined here by two of my top 10 favorite people on earth. The one and only. I was trying to think your section EE, right?
Section EE.
Okay,
yeah.
damn it. I was going to say the blah, blah, blah of E of whatever. Anyways, Janine.
Hi.
What's up? Second time we've done this in the last 48 hours or something.
I know. I'm making
pretty
lots
awesome.
of visits to this South Keys basement.
Might as well
here.
just buy the place next door.
Might
knock
as well.
down this wall that you share, and we can just open the studio up. What do you think? And obviously, the one and only producer Mark is here with a mic tonight.
Well, I should hope so. It's in my basement. So.
Season. Hey, when Mike's here, it's not your basement. How do you know Mike's in charge of your basement?
Don't worry, he'll
tell you. So yeah, unfortunately, Mike has a job. Well, that's not unfortunate for a few reasons, but he's not going to be here tonight. He actually canceled a trip this weekend to extend his business trip to Toronto to be there for the game yesterday. So that was pretty amazing that he made it. So him and his wife are off to Toronto today. So luckily, Janine's here picking up the slack. So that's amazing, and I won't feel any grief talking about the Bengals or have to worry about. When Mike's here, I feel like there's a higher frequency of crickets. I don't know, but
Yeah.
You guys spend too much time together, I guess.
yeah, I was explaining to these guys, Mike will laugh at my joke the first time I tell it, but the second time around, that's where the crickets were derived. I swear.
It was funny the first time.
And this whole save it for the show thing, that's legit. Seriously, save it for the show, or I'm not laughing.
If it wasn't for my canned laughter, this would just fall flat on its face every week.
So, let's just start off with a bang here. Grey Cup, baby.
I
Woo!
know.
Can you believe it? Eastern champions. We did it yesterday. I'm sure everyone who's listening to this has seen it, has seen the highlights, has seen the celebrations. And let me tell you, there's really only one way to really know how it feels. And you're one of the 25,000 people in that building.
That's right.
And it was intense. And there was a weird energy that I've never felt in that building. We've definitely felt high energy, high passion games, but that was different. It was different, and it was special to me. And we're going to talk about it a little more in the game recap. But I'm just so stoked about it. I just had to talk about it right away. So do you want to talk about it right away too?
I have to say, I don't know if you guys have listened to the TSN 1200.
No, actually, I didn't read or listen to anything after the game, just to make sure that anything I said, it's just so easy to whatever, I love copying everything I hear, so that's basically my MO.
Well, then all I'm going to say is if you haven't heard it, go find it, go listen. I've listened to it about 100 times now. It's the play call for the big touchdown, and it gives me shivers every time. I will never get that feeling again.
The radio call?
Yeah.
That's been getting a lot of attention, I know for sure.
Yeah, it's been getting a lot of attention today, and it was outstanding. So go have a listen.
Yeah, well, maybe if producer Mark has some time, he could throw that in here so we can all hear it. And if not...
might be able to find it.
Second and 25, high snap. Burris has it. Burris looks downfield, throws, and it is caught! Inside Hamilton territory, and there he goes! It's Ellingson down the sideline, inside the 10, touchdown!
And if not, you can just let everyone know you already asked Johnny to do that and you haven't heard back from him. So, what can you do, right?
Johnny.
Just can't count on these kids, man. I swear, like,
It's those beards.
for me, it's anyone under 25 that wears a homemade knit sweater. I mean,
Especially when you're a Chicago Bears fan.
So, anyways, no. Obviously, Johnny's amazing, and it was great to have him in here after our awesome breakfast. So I was gonna save this for the game recap, but I'm just so stoked from yesterday still that there's definitely going to be some CFL integration into this intro, so that's going to make some people happy, I think. So sorry, Mish.
It's actually going to be a CFL podcast intro.
Mish is just like, can you timestamp when you stop talking about CFL? So hopefully I'll hear some more Montebello stuff, or maybe hear about Mike's cat or something. But
I'll send him a special link. I'll just cut out all the other parts he doesn't care about.
So I just want to talk quickly to those people who booed Henry Burris. Or those who doubted his ability. I told us so. That's it. The definition of peacocking right here.
I can't add anything to that. I just echo that sentiment. Too many times last year I was trying to defend him, and well, we were right. Everyone else was wrong.
Yeah, so that doesn't happen too often. So maybe we should just call that We Were Right Once podcast, right? It's pretty awesome. It did happen once, It's our Lloyd Christmas moment, It did happen, right? So like I said, Janine is in the house, and we love having you here. And I know it's a lot of effort for you to get your butt down to this neck of the woods from work, so I really appreciate it. And you're also rocking a Red Blacks jersey.
I am. I decided, today I'm going to show my team colors at work. Decided to throw on, I had a blazer, but it's still a bit of a sauna down here, Mark. We got to do something about that.
Okay, when we came down here after breakfast at Santino's, we're going to talk about that right now anyway. So, great segue. Thank you, Janine.
I read the notes.
Well, usually the guy that sits there doesn't even bother, so +1 for Janine. So, after we had breakfast at Santino's, which was just amazing, great to meet his family, great to have all of us sitting around together. And there were a few times where I just sat back and kind of listened to everyone talking, and it was pretty awesome. Like, definitely some serious chemistry / camaraderie that we've developed here, and it's cool. It really did feel like a family get together, but like a family that has no beefs. So it's not really a family.
A family that everybody likes each other.
Yeah.
A fake family. So it's basically like a TV family. And it's really cool. Except there are no bratty kids running around. So anyways. They were very generous to have us over. And coincidentally, Santino's parents happen to live just down the street from Mark. So he's also made some neighbors. So that's pretty awesome. So he doesn't have to no longer fear everyone else that lives in Syracuse other than himself.
I'll be able to close at the bunker for the season this year. But no, it was an amazing spread they put out. I got to say, those cinnamon buns are some of the best I've ever had.
The second one I had was as good as the first one.
Oh, hands down, yeah. And then my two favorite food groups, bacon and sausage.
Yeah.
And coffee going around. Oh, it was fantastic.
Well, I mean, you don't smoke cigarettes anymore, so you got to get your nitrates other way,
Yeah,
right?
precisely.
You don't
I
discriminate.
don't have my vitamin supplement sticks anymore.
Yeah,
right?
that's right. And Janine, obviously, I'm sure you enjoyed it as much as we did.
Oh, it was just so nice to, first of all, see Santino. I know you and I have met him the one and only time at a quarterback club, and I feel like even though he's so far away, he's such an integral member of this crew. But you kind of forget how far away he is until you get a chance to hang out with him and see him. So Santino, it was just, I can't say thank you enough to opening your doors, you and your family, to us, because we're a pretty interesting crew when we all get together. And it was just so great. It was great to see you. It was great to share that with you. And what a great weekend.
He's no longer our podcast pokeroo.
No, that's right. He's
Mike
not
never got to see him.
No, but I was spreading
no longer Snuffleupagus.
I was spreading rumors about him today on our nation that he was actually Big Joe.
Big Joe, I saw that.
It's pretty good though, right? Come on. There's actually 6 Big Joes. Spoiler.
Wait, there's 6 of us, isn't there?
Ooh, I see what you did there. The internet just broke. So it was great, and it was awesome to have you guys in here. For those of you who didn't hear it, we did a little game preview. I know it's probably redundant now, but if you just want to hear Santino in studio, we had a lot of fun. We were all, I think we all stayed up late the night before, and we all had lots of beverages the evening before. So I'll call it like Basement Tapes Junior meets game preview, because there were some offside moments.
Yeah, we kept it on the rails for the most part, but we did slide a bit.
Relatively speaking. Yeah, so it wasn't the most PC thing I've ever been involved in, but it was still fun, and it was so hot down here. That,
it was nuts.
Your heater is awesome, Mark. Like, I didn't know when you turn I didn't know if you turn your thermostat up to 90 that it would actually get there. I thought you just teased it to get up to 74.
It was like a rainforest down here. It was nuts.
No, my better half gets the chills quite easily, being that she's from the left coast. She's out from Vancouver, so this time of year is not very good for her. So I guess she got the chills when we were having breakfast and decided to crank her up to 26. And yeah, it worked. I think I was sweating worse than anybody else.
We could have brought those cinnamon buns that we didn't finish and kept them warm till after the podcast if I would have known.
This is why I don't need chafing dishes when I have dinner parties.
Oh, God. In that kind of heat, don't use the word chafing bud, okay? So we're going to talk about the whole Winnipeg scenario in the game, or after the game recap. But I just want to say Mike was supposed to call in today. He's not able to make it. We were going to have a little chat from the pool, I assume, because that's kind of what he does.
That's what he does.
But apparently the pool was closed, and he got anxious, so he's not calling in. So hopefully I'm sure wherever he is, he's in fine form, right? Mike on a business trip.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be honest. He knows how to pay the bills. So I want to congratulate those Our Nation fans who won trips to Winnipeg this year.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know all the names off the top of my head, but I know for sure that Lordell and Alex, the Lumberjoes, Michelle Weger, I think her name is.
Did she
She
win
also
too?
another
Okay.
one. So I'm just really awesome that Our Nation is going to be well represented there. Not only people like yourself, Janine, who are there regardless.
I know I'm the sucker that pays every year. I just got to start putting my name into all these contests.
Yeah, like, are you new?
What a sucker.
Yeah. No, you're just, if it wasn't for you, there'd be no money left over to give shit away. So
There you go.
actually, you're basically paying for their trip.
So you're welcome.
So not to put you on the spot, but there's this new segment starting right now called the Winnipeg Minute with Janine.
Okay.
So, okay, just we're going to lay out a scenario for you. Mark and I are going to the Grey Cup. We're really smart academic dudes, but we love to drink beer. Sorry, this is full of shit. About
Which part? The academic
anyways,
part?
A little bit of both. And we're just looking to go there. We have our hotel booked. We want to go to the game, and we just want to know, Winnipeg in 60 seconds. So let's see what you got.
Winnipeg Grey Cup in 60 seconds or Winnipeg in 60 seconds?
It's your segment.
Save us
Janine.
a story about the mosquitoes. Go for the Grey Cup version.
Gotten rid of about 15 seconds.
Got 42 seconds left.
No, while you're in Winnipeg, you absolutely have to visit the Forks if you've never seen it before. Grey Cup Festival or not, the Forks is a pretty cool place, and Colin and I have a love of pierogies, and you will get some fine pierogies down by the Forks. As for the Grey Cup Festival, I mean, everything's online, but here's what you need to know from my perspective. Spirit of Edmonton is always a great party.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy the commissioner's address on the state of the league. Not as much beer drinking at that one, but it's a good way to get to know the commish. But you might want to stick a flask in a boot or something. And I think this year the Red Blacks party is at Joey's. It's going to be fantastic. Remember how packed we were in there last year?
It was great.
I predict it's going to be twice as packed this year now that we're actually in the big game. So I don't care what team you cheer for, you're going to want to check out that Red Blacks party at Joey's.
I feel like we had some amazing memories last year from the Grey Cup, but for me that Joey's party was the pinnacle of the whole weekend for me.
Yeah.
Not only meeting all the coaches and players, but also watching Lordell crush that sriracha sushi without chopsticks. Like, that's the way my brain works. Like, that's like the highlight of my first Grey Cup experience. Right? It's like, but you met all those Hall of Famers, and I'm like, dude, the sushi was crazy.
Well, this year though, it'll be because there won't be as many players, right, or coaches, because they're going to be prepping for the big game.
It's a business trip, yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see who they pull out. Maybe I don't know. Maybe bring in some alumni in year 2.
Probably just have to listen to Sutherland defend Mouchoir for an hour and a half again, but let's just let that one go. Okay, we'll give Sutherland the Mouchoir. You know, we got a team in the Grey Cup. If he wants to manipulate the language, go for it, bro. It's all good.
I've accepted his explanation. I'm all good with it. No, but it's gonna be.
I've just given up. No, John.
It's gonna be great. So to be honest with you, I haven't checked out the festivity calendar yet. I'm the kind of person that doesn't like to plan my Grey Cup. I kind of go where the spirit takes me.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was harassing you like every 2 minutes last
like,
year. Where are you?
Where are we gonna go now?
There's a good event in 2 minutes, and you're not here yet. Like, are we in a fight,
dude? I'll get there when I get there.
I was just joking when I said you were in yesterday.
You're making my job really tough today, aren't you? That's
It's
like 5 in a row.
I don't care. We're in the Grey Cup, man. Family friendly, whatever. Are you kidding me? After we win next week, we're selling this baby anyway. So no, I'm joking.
I'm starting to think that's not a joke.
Okay, so I've dilly-dallied enough. I don't really want to talk about this game recap. So let's just scrap the rest of this intro notes, which all look pretty lame anyway, aside from TD Plays viewing party for next weekend, but we'll talk about that anyway. So we're going to, as we always do, go into a little Santino action. Obviously, Janin's here, so no around the CFL. Slacker. Anyway, she couldn't get that done.
Two games, like that's all she
11
had to
o'clock.
do.
Yeah, whatever.
1 game is all I had to do.
Yeah, technically, yeah, we're gonna do the one on our own.
Nice to see someone has a busy schedule. Anyway,
dude, I gotta pack my parka for Grey Cup. I'm busy packing.
Yeah, I know. It's parka, aka Big Joe costume. So Santino has a rant this week, and obviously it's his second last of the year. I'm sure he'll have one next week. And it's
really
more
a
of a thank you.
Yeah.
So it's a thank you to our
positive.
nation, a thank you to us, and just a thank you to the city. And it's just leaving me warm and cozy, just like I had half dozen cinnamon buns at Santino's parents' place. So. And I'm like, I was serious, and I'm encouraging you to become friends with his parents now that you live close to him, because I think
they had me at walnut crusted cinnamon buns, to be quite honest.
Those are walnuts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
I was like, "Those are the best cashews I ever had." No, but yeah, because plus EV food decision.
Obviously,
neighbors
yeah.
that get their food on, and you got a garden. You start doing a little cross pollination there. Cinnamon buns for tomatoes.
Yeah,
Just
that's a good trade. I
Yeah,
can go
that's
for
fair.
that. Yeah, totally fair.
Anyways, so let's roll into Santino's Love Fest, and then we'll come right back with a little game recap. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Glorious. Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Bleed Red Blacks podcast. Check us out on Twitter at BleedRedBlacks and on Facebook at facebook.com/Bleed Red Blacks podcast.
Live from Brazil, here's the Red Black Renegade rant with Santino Filoso.
Are you ready?
Do you really mean to tell me that a 5'0" wide receiver is worth $40,000 more than Chad Owens?
We'll do it live!
If the helmets weren't ready this week, they should have pushed their introduction back.
It has begun.
As I sit here, exhausted from a whirlwind weekend of incredible memories and packing my bags to head back to Brazil, I need to take a moment to say something about those who made this short trip unforgettable. After spending months, if not years, interacting with so many of you online, via Twitter, the Our Nation forum, Facebook, the blog, and the podcast, it was fantastic to finally have the opportunity to meet so many of you face to face. I didn't get to spend as much time chatting with everyone as I would have liked, but I was pretty overwhelmed and just trying to soak everything in. From watching the practice on Friday and getting to meet some of the players, to sharing breakfasts and laughs with the hungover podcast crew, to tailgating in Brewer and walking up Bank Street to the stadium with the Southsiders, I was continually blown away by how friendly, welcoming, and passionate everyone was. So without dragging this out too much longer, from the bottom of my heart, I want to send a huge thank you to all of those I met. It was pretty damn special to be in town this weekend, and you all played a huge part in making it memorable. For those of you going to the Grey Cup next weekend, cheer loud and represent our nation well in Winnipeg. As for everyone else, else, see you next season. That's all for this week, guys. Rant back at RedBlackGade. Check out our Movember page, and don't forget to bleed Red Blacks.
Game recap on the Bleed Red Blacks podcast.
Game recap. So we did it. We pretty much had one of the most exciting memories that I've ever had in this city, especially at TD Place, aside from many bagel-related incidents many years ago. But yeah, I don't know how to define this game. I feel like everyone saw it. Everyone knows what it all boiled down to. And now it's just, what are we going to call it, right? We have the catch. Is this the throw, Keenan wants to say, call it 2nd and 25.
2nd and 25.
Right? Says it all.
Yeah.
I know Mike's going to fight hard for 2nd and Bronson. But he's been saying that all year on long
The chop block
plays,
special? I don't know.
Oh, if it wasn't for the
birth
chop block,
of-
he wouldn't have had that extra wiggle room, right?
You know what
So
I'm
he would have
saying?
just snapped it right into the end zone. So,
The birth of Burris Pizzeria.
or the Ellingson slice at Gabriel's. I'm going to get too, right?
Ooh.
9.3 toppings on it. What do you think?
9.3.
Anyways, I had a really cool game day experience. Early Sunday game. It's not something we're used to. I'm used to coming home from work, having a quick bite, hopping on my bike and biking to the game. So, nothing says the glebe better than eggs Benedict with a Caesar to get my tailgating going, right? Like that's so glebe.
Where'd you do that?
And at local.
Nice.
So there were so many options though, which was great. So if you didn't want to do that, there was Brewer Park tailgating, which had an amazing turnout. I saw some photos, and apparently it was like the biggest one they've had yet, and I think it's really gaining momentum, and I think that's awesome. At Gate 1, they had a band playing, and just in general, the atmosphere was amazing, and I don't know how to describe this. I've been trying to talk about it all day with people, but okay, so we all know there were 25,000 people in attendance, and it was different. It's like there were no fair weather fans there. There were no date nights. It wasn't like a. I almost said Dateline.
Dateline, NBC.
Tell what I did this afternoon at work. There were no date nights, no business outings, and it showed. The fans were nuts, and the energy that I felt, it was one of a kind, and it reminded me of those old North Dundas Morrisburg minor hockey games. For like
Just like that.
For like the one or two people who remember those games back in '95. Crazy.
I guess we gotta take his word for it, Mark?
It's funny. I do calls to SDNG all the time. I don't know if anyone aside from my dad even listens in the SDNG. So
Does anybody else matter, though? Let's be honest.
he's probably the only one who has iTunes installed on his computer in SDNG. So
True story.
can't blame him. Dial-up problems. Just turn the antenna to 13. Should come in real clear, Dad. So this game is just drama, and that's what football is all about, and it always boils down to who wants it more, and I think that's what we saw yesterday.
Yep.
And it was obvious early in the game that we were watching a playoff game. It was obvious early in the game that both teams, wanted it badly and were bringing their A game, and the parity in the league has been on display this year, and it's never been more evident. As we found out later in the day. There's been a shift of power in the West as well. So, so let's talk about the play, okay?
All right,
So,
the play.
the catch, the throw, whatever. Just tell me. This is what I feel we need to let our fans know, what we felt, what it was like in the building. Everyone who watched on TV, everyone who listened on the radio has their own experience. So I want to hear about, what was it like for you in the stadium, and how did you feel in that, 10-second kind of, sequence?
Well, as your dad will remember, I'm the kind that gets so nervous that I need an airplane barf bag with me at a game. So he actually commented about that on social media. How was I doing? It was just an extreme high and an extreme low. Like when they got the field goal to tie. And
My dad's social media game is on point.
Your dad's social
Just so you guys
media
know.
You can make fun of Storm us in Glengarry, but his iTunes and his social media are on point.
There you go. He got a
Dial
cell
up
phone.
and all.
He got a cell phone today too. Just so you guys know.
Attaboy.
He sent me a text. Colin, cell phone. Your dad.
Nice.
I'm
nice.
teasing, but
But yeah, just like extreme high, like from an extreme kind of low to an extreme high. And when they tied the game up with that field goal, I remember looking at Craig and saying, okay, it's okay, baby. It's okay. There's still lots of time. And then that penalty, that chop block penalty. And I just like, I literally went from, being, it's okay. We can still do this, to going straight down into the toilet, to then just that throw, and just I can't even put into words what I still feel. I just know that I still have the
Janin's Uber driver was on the way here right after that chop block.
Yeah, exactly.
He was waiting out front in an Audi, apparently. 4-star rating. So.
I just have that stupid touchdown song playing over and over in my head.
Yeah.
That's all I can really think about ever since that catch.
So it was just such a weird scenario because, okay, for me, in Section FF, there was some fights going on right at that moment. So basically,
like in the section, you mean?
In the section between some Auto fans and some Hamilton fans.
Oh,
And it had been going back and
drama.
forth all game. And it really got heated near the end. And it was distracting because, unfortunately, I assume most people know that feeling you get in your stomach when either you see people fighting or a fight's going to happen. It's like a very empty, helpless feeling. It's like a disgusting kind of feeling. It's just I don't know how to describe it, but I know like that knot when you know someone's about to get punched out, or it's just a weird, unnatural feeling. And we were distracted by that. Meanwhile, we have the most captivating theater that most of us have ever seen playing out right in front of us. And there's streams of police officers squeezing past us.
Oh my God.
So it was so strange. So like you said, there was like the high of we can do this to the chop block. But for me, mixed in between was there's a crazy fight going on and there's police officers everywhere. And then before I knew it, I looked up and I saw Hank like playing hot potato with the ball.
The high snap, right?
Yeah.
Like that super high snap.
And I was at that, and it was just, there was just so much happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously, somehow Hank saw Ellingson. I have no idea. I mean, that's probably just know where your guy is going to be and chuck it up and hope the best athlete comes down with the play, with the ball. And before I knew it, I was standing on top of the chair in front of me, like on top of the back of the chair in front of me, just screaming like crazy. But like what happened in between, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like it was just such a whirlwind of emotion from the fight going on beside me.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, like you said, we're going to lose, we're going to win, And it was amazing. So I turned to my right. I didn't recognize anyone. Turned to my left, no one, because everyone had just collapsed
Into
amongst
one.
each other.
Yeah.
Like the 5-6 rows of FF family. Like it was weird. It was like one, and people just were beside themselves. And
And you said it like family, right? Like I was saying all day, people were asking me, what was it like to be there? What was it like to be there? And I have a great section EE. I didn't know anybody. I knew like the people that I bought my tickets with. I didn't know the people in front or around me or in back of me. I've met them. I've gotten to know them over these last 2 years. I have never hugged so many like practically strangers. I only see them once, like 9 times a year. And we just all felt like this was something that we were sharing together. It was ours. It belonged to all of us. It was all for us, because of us, thanks to, like, there were just a million feelings and like pride and love and everything. It just kind of came out. And I don't know how long I stood in the middle of a giant hug, but it was a very long time.
It's like going to an EDM festival in the late 90s.
Yeah, Janine had her glow sticks out. She's like, hey,
There might have been a few extra. Never mind.
Save it for the basement tapes.
Basement tapes.
But yeah, I mean, I really hope we're accurately communicating how we feel, but I feel like we're not giving it any justice. Like
I feel that way too, because it's just so impossible. We can never recreate that moment, and I think ultimately that's what's most
amazing.
special about it.
Right? Yeah.
Like I will never feel that within like 30-second roller coaster again. And even if I do, it won't be in the same way, like it will. It's so unique, and it's a moment in time.
It happens so, I don't want to say organically, but it just happened so naturally, and it surprised everyone. And it was like 25,000 people, aside from the people from Hamilton, like collectively all celebrated at the same time.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
you could feel the energy. I don't know how to explain it, but like you could literally feel it in the air. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to sound like a huge hippie here, but
when you've got a game that goes down to the wire like that, you know what I mean? Everybody loves to see their favorite team blow out another team 35-0. But you're not going to remember that game in 2 years. The games you're going to remember the ones where you're tied right up to the last 2 minutes of that game, and you have one just amazing play. And I watched the game from home on Sunday, and all I could think of when I saw Henry throw that ball was, crap, I need a bigger TV because I can't even get that whole play in one camera frame. You know what I mean? They had to pan all the way down the field. And when I saw him come down, when Ellingson came down with the ball in his hands, you're looking at it just like, how the hell did he pull that out of the air?
I know. And just the backstory about, both Burris not wanted by Hamilton anymore. Ellingson not wanted by Hamilton anymore. Both of, was it Burris that said this morning in one of his interviews, you could not have written this storyline any better? It's just,
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And I just hope if those of you who are listening and didn't watch it, I doubt there's many of you, but if you're maybe, CFL fans from another city or whatever, and you haven't got a chance to watch it,
go find it.
even just go, and I haven't heard it myself. I told you I haven't watched any media. I'm going to do all that tomorrow because I wanted this to kind of just express how I felt in the stadium and not hear any of the other commentary. I haven't heard any of the interviews or any of that stuff. I'm just trying to do it. Kick it old school here. As I talk into a mic.
That dial-up internet you have.
As I talk into a mic that's wired into a computer. Nothing's as old school like a computer. So anyways, I hope we're able to do that. And I'm really looking forward to watching that stuff. And I don't think it's ever going to get old.
Nope.
Even aside, whatever happens this weekend in Winnipeg, it doesn't. Obviously, it's gonna. The perfect ending is always amazing, but to me, the perfect ending doesn't necessarily mean a Grey Cup victory. To me, a perfect ending means having the opportunity to represent your city on a national stage, with everyone watching, and really showing the league and the country and everyone else who's watching that this team's for real and that we're not going anywhere and that we're going to have come and play to win every game. And this isn't a bye anymore. This isn't a joke. We're legit and we're serious and we take it seriously.
Yep.
And I say that with a straight face for the first time, probably in a long time down here, to be honest.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of people have asked if any of us thought that this would especially a few people have asked me today, you bought your Grey Cup tickets back in July. Did you ever expect this to be the outcome? And I have no shame in admitting, no, I didn't expect this to be the outcome. I expected Ottawa to be a playoff team, and that would have been fantastic. This is just it was so beyond my belief at that time that now it just feels extra special.
And I admire that in you, though, as well. And like most hardcore CFL fans, is you are a CFL fan, first, right? And you own that, and you're not afraid to say,
Thanks.
I like that.
Yeah, thank you.
And there's not many people like that, to be honest. There's always, some weird answer, and you're straight up about it, and I admire that.
Aw. This warm and fuzzy moment was brought to you by Mark's Tropical Basement.
I was going to say, brought to you by that thermostat over there. I feel like I'm in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I'm pretty sure it's melting.
Can't stop here. It's bat country.
Yeah. It's like a Dali painting down here. What time is it? Okay, so let's just talk a little bit of football stuff here. Greg Ellingson, just amazing. Like you said, the fact that the perfect script, Hank throws a prayer to the only player that he was really wanted to convince to come here. Just amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. And we didn't expect for that play to happen. And let's be honest. If that play doesn't happen, we're euchred. We're punting the ball from our own end zone into a dirty wind, with a man whose primary duty is to kick field goals. And
Money Medlock.
and we're coming back with him he played really well.
Yeah,
he was
he
kicking
did.
really well. And he had made a few long kicks with the wind at his back earlier in the game. So that was basically, I know it's very cliche, but that was legit it wasn't legit do or die. Damn it. Alex doesn't make that catch. 25,000 people did. Anyways, it was amazing, and Ellingson has been a huge, not a surprise, but just another one of those guys who's just kicked butt. Sorry, Mark, I didn't want you to butt. kicked rear, kicked hind quarter.
I don't have to censor it,
all
but
season. So so he came to play 5 receptions for 186 yards, and 1 TD, and obviously the aforementioned 93-yard reception of the year, right? Or of up till now, maybe even say the Red Blacks franchise history.
Oh God,
right? Easily.
Yeah.
Right?
And remember what Santino said about it's time to create new memories? That's the new memory right there, right?
Well, thank God he came.
Yeah. He's our good luck charm, right?
Hey, where were you earlier in the year, Santino? yeah. These air points you used. Yeah, I might have to talk to Mrs. Filoso over there and see. Maybe your son needs to come home a little more often.
Exactly.
Anyways, just amazing game by Ellingson, and like we talked about earlier, years down the road, people will be talking about this play. Where were you when this happened? And not only if we can win next week, but to me, Gabriel's catch is still the catch. But there's really, I don't think we need to compare the two. I think it's just amazing that we now have a new chapter.
Exactly.
To add to, Mr. Jackson and Gabriel and all those other people that we look up to and talk about quite frequently, actually.
Exactly.
It was a tough grinding day for Hank, and I feel like all those successes that you have during the year make moments like this a little easier to deal with. When you have it, and even if you have an off day, I still feel like it's easy to dig deep and kind of channel maybe those positive memories from earlier in the game or the year. And he's got a boatload of them, especially compared to last year. Like, what was he channeling last year, right? Like, when's the next 95 heading back to Orleans? Like, let's be honest. Like the Trim Road bus, it is quite a nice ride.
Why would he be going to Orleans?
I don't know. I thought he lived.
Why would anyone
Finley
go
Creek,
to
Finley
Orleans?
Creek.
No, but last year he lived in Orleans when he
lived
first moved here. So.
Should it worry us or maybe the team that you know so much about people's addresses?
I like Henry Burris, man. So I don't know. I know when I go trick or treating, I always have a plan. I don't know what you do, but also when I go canvassing for charities, I'm knocking on pro athlete stores, yo.
Yeah.
What do you think? Hey, Mr. Carlson, I'll see you tomorrow, bud. So Hank was 17 for 32, 326 yards, which is respectable.
Yep,
I mean, 1 touchdown, no turnovers. Another big
Yep.
thing from the game yesterday, but.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't his best game, and he'll be the first to admit it. But they got. Sometimes you win ugly in this league, and it doesn't always matter that you have the biggest stat line. It matters that you get that W, and they did that as a team.
Yeah, and as a team that, especially from an offensive perspective, has stayed crazy healthy.
Mm-hmm. I know
that O-line. Every dude started every game. It was the only team in the CFL who were able to offer that, and it doesn't surprise me that also correlates with the fact that Henry's been healthy all year. So yeah, Burris, you know him? Yeah, we know him. Yeah, he's pretty awesome, right? Like, sorry,
Hank, I think Hank.
Yeah,
is
Hank.
that his name?
Yeah, he's like he's a dude with a nice smile. Apparently he's a good quarterback. Anyways, thanks to the O-line for keeping him safe again. Only gave up 2 sacks, and like I said, the health of our O-line has to be one of the stories of the year. It is for me, and I just can't. I think it's amazing. I love that group of guys in front of them, and we called them out last year. One of the things they had to address, and boy, did they ever do it.
Yeah,
so,
and Sir Vincent is now nominated for most outstanding offensive lineman. So
amazing, and I think he deserves it. He's been just a beast.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely.
So the Red Blacks DBs, they did bend, but they didn't break, and I think we need to work on tightening up the middle of the field if we do want to keep the Eskimos in check, which we'll talk about a little later. But that's our only real kind of weak spot. I feel like there was a big void. We were keeping them in front of us, though.
And we talked. Oh, sorry, Colin.
No, go ahead.
We talked a little bit about, these are young guys. For some of them, for most of them, it's their first real big game. So I think that some of that can be really chalked up to jitters. And, now they've, not to say that all their jitters are going to be gone when they're playing for the biggest prize, but I think that it's good. They got, like you said, they bent, they didn't break. Hopefully they got some of that worked out and come back stronger next week.
Very strong game from Damaso Munoz. He's been awesome all year. He's really become one of our best tacklers, and he led the team with 10 tackles as well as one on special teams. And so my Fossey Corsi, I had a modified version running this week where the running back only needed to get 13 touches to win. So maybe if Fender guy wants to manipulate his algorithm, maybe I'll go with lucky 13.
Lucky 13.
Anyways, another solid effort from William Powell. He 13 rushes for 60 yards. He did add in one reception for 15, but old Hank, he had 6 carries for 29 yards himself, and one of them was huge.
So
and
that's technically 19 touches then. So the old Fossey Corsi kind of held true.
Yeah, but Fossey Corsi only correlated with the running back position. So next time you want to make up your own thing.
Says the guy that wants to modify his formula on live podcasting.
A formula that I haven't actually
You're like a
derived yet.
political statistician over there. You should work for the government.
Hey,
So with one polling station in out of 182, we're seeing a serious upset in the making here. Hey CBC, you listening? Oh yeah, I forgot. You guys don't like me. That's okay.
Sample
I
size.
blame Mike for that one. Mike had like a 30-minute CBC interview once, and he's like, I nailed it. And yeah, we haven't heard from them since. So I love it. Anyways, I got a lot of love out of that kind of relationship. So luckily, Janine is good with them, because you're like, all our bridges are down. You're just like that You're like that
let's
rope
face
one that
it,
helps us cross.
I'm the charming one. Let's face it. I like if you guys could all
I'm
see
stunned.
the looks I'm getting
stunned.
right now.
I don't have a mean bone in my body, Janine.
I'm a sensitive guy.
I didn't say you're not sensitive. I said you're not charming.
I've been called worse by better.
Can't listen well either, obviously. That might roll that into the charming or lack thereof. So our special teams, really happy the effort that they put
so
forward.
much better.
Santino had mentioned them exclusively working on special teams during that open practice, which doesn't surprise me. Open to the public, you're not going to show too much, but just really nice seeing an obvious effort to respect your, discipline, your role, your responsibility within that group. Players look comfortable and organized, aside from one play where Mike and I saw our man, Jamil Smith, have to tell another veteran that he was in the wrong place, and we were very impressed by that. And that might have just been an end of the game kind of thing, but it was neat to see that the guys are also looking out for their other teammates. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Jamil looked as composed as ever, and it was really nice to see Chris Williams have a return, 35 or something yards, but just something to see him run.
Something positive for him on special teams,
absolutely. Right? So, Money Milo, sorry Medlock, but alliterations. You don't own alliterations, so yeah, take that.
Ooh.
Josh Smith, he's like way smarter than me, and we had like a alliteration in your face kind of thing, and he came back with some response, and I had to Google it, and he got me good.
I had to
Bust out the thesaurus.
I'm like, hey Jeeves, what's this guy saying about me? Oh, yeah, you're right, Josh. Burn. But yeah, what a luxury to have a guy who he's really done well, and I mean, 4 for 4 on field goals, 3 for 3 extra points, 15 total points. Great job punting on not only a brisk but a very windy day, and he's proven to be a huge signing. And I wonder if the green-white fans are still poking fun at him when he left. And I mean,
some of them are. I was getting private messages on Twitter from some Rider fans yesterday who said, I really want you guys to do well, but I don't want Milo to do well. So I don't know what the story is there. I'm
100% pro dad bod, so the guy can do no wrong in my eyes.
I'm sorry, I just need a moment.
But when Milo came here, he said this. Sorry, we officially lost Janine. She said she had a long day, but it's rare to see her lose her composure like this. So apparently
she's not snort laughing.
Apparently the former fitness performer doesn't like dad bods. I don't know what's happening here.
It was bodybuilding, not fitness, and I just
Body break with Hal Johnson and Joanne McLeod.
I just never thought of football player's dad bod with tattoos. I don't, it's an image. It's an image I now can't get out of my head. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Money Milo, if you're listening. At Ottawa J.
Hey, he knows I respect him. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah, I know. You punters are people. I know.
Punters are people.
Anyways, yeah, we're off the rails. I don't even know what we're talking about. We won. It's amazing.
Can
I'm really happy, and this is definitely. I'm really upset Mike couldn't call in.
Yeah.
Because Mike's
guys
a very
share this together.
Mike's a very interesting man, and the way that like he very rarely will express himself unless he kind of means it. Like he's not like me, like where I just go and just every so often you'll be able to pick out tidbits of stuff that's worthwhile. Mike's more calculated, and he was so stoked about that game on Saturday, and legit like how you feel like it's like a real memory, and like it was very special to him as a fan, and like to him and I, to be honest, like. And for our section and our families to share that together.
Yeah.
And after the game, we just walked down Bank Street and went home. You know, we had what we needed. We didn't need to go out and get smashed after or party with, like, we were with the people who were most important to us, like who we could, I mean, aside from you guys. And, yeah, we just shared this, like, ridiculous life memory that hopefully we can talk about when, Mike's in a nursing home and I'm going in to see how he's doing,
Yeah.
Change his diapers.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Smith, why are you taking twice as much meds? Oh, that faucet guy must be coming to visit you again.
Right. Can I just say? Can I say one thing? I have a lot of friends who are Ticats fans, and I know that this morning was a different story for those of you who are Hamilton fans. But I just want to say, I think we have to give credit to that team. It was one busted up team.
Yep.
That hung in there right until the very, very end. And like you said earlier, if we had punted from the end zone, the outcome of this game would have been quite a bit different. So I just want to say a big congratulations to the Hamilton Tiger Cats for making this such a great, like this game, you said it, Mark, we wouldn't be having this much trouble putting into words how we feel if this was a blowout.
Yeah. I feel like this might be one of the worst shows we've ever done.
But neither
weird.
one of us could talk about
right,
it.
It's
We're
like,
all like,
it's so legit. Like it was, I haven't processed it yet. Maybe that's a problem. And I remember this morning. So yeah, vaguely. This morning, I was going to actually get in touch with you guys and say, let's do it Tuesday. Like give myself a day.
Give you one more.
And then I was at work and I'm like, I can't bail on this. Like I'm dying to talk about this, and also I'm dying to go read all the stuff and hear the interviews and read the newspaper articles, and I'm just so stoked to hear what everyone else has to say about it. And I'm sure there's some pretty interesting perspectives and stuff too, and it's good to get the reading in now, because I'm sure by tomorrow they'll have moved on to Edmonton. And that whole game. I just briefly want to say, like you said, shout out to the Ticats fans. You guys were loud, very impressive. I sincerely hope that there was the scuffle that happened in my section. I hope I'm sure it was just, beer talking. A
few too many
And from what I saw, the Red Blacks fans and the Ticats fans, it takes, they were both antagonizing.
It takes two.
Both
to tango.
antagonizing each other.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the police had to come and split them up. I'm more just upset that those people didn't see the catch.
Yeah.
Because they got escorted out with, literally, right before.
Like right before.
Yeah, right before. No, it was 30 seconds before or something. So that's brutal. So
yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I guess that was our game recap. That was really weird and off the cuff.
I guess we should say what the score was.
It's like, oh, we didn't do that.
No, we didn't do it.
See, this is what happens. If you asked us this time last season, and I remember during the playoffs, you were in my basement a couple times going over the happenings in the rest of the league that were still playing football with me.
Speaking of which, you did hit record, right?
Oh, totally.
Okay.
You just checked.
Yeah, we're good.
Now that we're done.
No, but...
And he's worrying that I'm swearing.
Had I said to you, what happens if we make it to the Grey Cup next year? We would have both looked at each other and just probably snickered a bit like that's not going to happen because nobody saw it coming.
Yeah.
To go from an inaugural season at 2-16 to where we are today, you don't expect this. How can you talk about it? You're not prepped for it yet.
And a few other things. Number one, Johnny Sanchez, our awesome interview last week, who said they will cover. They did cover. So he told me to put $100 on it, and DGen's gonna DGen. So thanks, Johnny. Any more tips for this week? BleedRedBlacks at Gmail. Feel free to send me your line.
Don't make it public because we don't want to offset the odds too much. We want to make sure we get our good spread.
Yeah, that's right.
What was the spread? 6.5?
6.5. Yeah.
There you go. 28-35.
Yeah. So thanks for that, Janine. That was pretty cool. So, okay. So maybe we'll cut. Oh, one more thing. So we're looking for a new winning song. So Mark is going to be trying a few out tonight. We thought it was time to move on from The Sheen. If we're gonna do a vote, so if you guys like the original winning song and whatever, banging 7 gram rocks or whatever he's talking about in that specific moment, probably not the best line for me to use. Anyways, we're gonna be trying some new winning songs, and we're gonna leave it up to you guys. Whatever you guys want to hear, we're gonna use it. So Mark's gonna throw in.
Yeah, we'll throw a few things in there, and then take your favorite and hit us up on Twitter and let us know what you think.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team. Yeah, started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. Never doubt that you're the one, and you can have your dreams. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best They can't take it away. If you've got something to say, they might try to let you in, but you only gotta learn to win.
All right, one more shout out. I want to shout out to the Red Blacks media department, who played Mastodon High Road as the team was warming up for the game. For those of you who don't know who Mastodon are, you are not alone. Unless you were either into music heavily now or were a huge metal nerd in the early 2000s, you probably don't know Mastodon. But someone does, and when I heard that song, I turned to Mike and said, we're going to win. The fact that a band I used to see in Buffalo in 1999 with like 80 people is now, playing while my team is warming up. It was a really weird sign for me. And like I said, I'm not a hippie, I swear, but like the energy was just so amazing. So shout out to Mastodon, and hopefully Mark can throw a little Mastodon.
Obviously.
This week's Bytown Beats segment is brought. So Mike usually has his delivery. I feel like he's really good at it. Do you want to do this, Mark?
I'll give it a shot.
Okay. It's all about the cadence.
It's all the cadence, right? The pause.
Yeah, that's right.
So this week on the Bytown Beats segment, we have a mighty clash of ska beat, reggae, punk rock, and community service, all wrapped into a swirling frenzy of cardboard. This week's band is the Cardboard Crowns. Similar to Sublime and the Planet Smashers, they won the Live 88.5 Big Money Shot 2 years ago. And the song for this week is The Kings off the debut EP, Long Live the Kings. And I don't have a Bandcamp reference for these guys, but I'm sure there's one out there. So
I'm going to go with the Cardboard Crowns
at Bandcamp.com. But
.net.
I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet today, but everything from Johnny Z seems to be coming up gold-plated these days. So let's just roll into that, and we will see all you lovely people next week.
Yeah, sounds good. And also, one last thing. Congratulations to Edmonton on your convincing victory over Calgary. We had attempted to get Andrew on the show tonight. Unfortunately, we're not able to pull it off. Just short turnaround after the game. Busy day at work, so hopefully we can get Andrew on next week, and we can see if we can get him tickets to the parade.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we'll still be friends next week.
Well, you know what? Mike disses him so much. I have nothing good to say about Andrew. So, no, it's cool. I sincerely apologize, Andrew, for not pulling it off tonight, but we just weren't able to make it happen. So, thanks so much for listening to our impromptu game recap. We were going to touch on some stats from the Western Final, but I'm feeling kind of this Eastern Final love right now. And this energy we're talking about, I can feel it even down in the basement, even in South Keys. So
Here's
it's
all
spreading.
Here's
it's
all you
spreading
need
like
to know,
a virus
right?
in a basement in South Keys.
Oh, I can't touch that one. Here's all you need to know about CFL, around the CFL. We're playing against Edmonton. Last time we played them in the Grey Cup, 1981. That's all anybody needs to know. The rest you can go find on, tsn.ca.
Or not.
Or not. No, that's
CFL.ca. My bad. Okay, thanks a lot, guys, for coming. Thanks for listening, and hopefully this show is awesomer than I think it is going to be. So, Grey Cup next week. Have fun.
I'll see you in Winnipeg, everyone.
So lucky to have you represent us there, Janine.
I'm really looking
Can't
forward
wait
to
hear all about it.
You bet.
Okay, bye.
Here at Bleed Red Blacks, we love our football, but we also love the music our great city has to offer. It's the Bytown Beats local music spotlight segment on the Bleed Red Blacks podcast. Today's featured artist, the Cardboard Crowns.
They say that things are looking like they're in control, because the TV and the papers killed the names that they don't wanna know. But I say, well, there's just one thing that I gotta know. Who appointed us the kings to rape and profit off of those below? Well, I don't wanna come off as an asshole or sentimental, but we watch another bloodbath off our hands with the blindfold. So excuse me if the peek I give you makes you feel a little pissed off. They say that we have privatized the industry to give ourselves a few more seconds with the mirrors in our SUVs. Well, I'm not gonna tell you to become another Yahoo or a building burning cop car turning preacher from the data. Simply I suggest we try to fight the selfish urge to stay on top. Because the TV and the papers killed the names that they don't wanna know.
Thank you for listening to this week's installment of the Bleed Red Blacks podcast. All musical content used in this podcast is all local Ottawa talent. If you are a local artist wanting to get your material heard on Bleed Red Blacks, send us a message on our Facebook group. Tune in next time, and remember to bleed red black.